Call the meeting of the Prescott Planning Commission to order. It's Tuesday, July 5th, 6 p.m. Take a roll call. Steve? Here. Josh? Here. Rick? Here. Lothar, Naraki, Dave Vogel, and Mayor Doherty are not present. First on the agenda, we'll look to approve the minutes for the June 6th Planning Commission meeting. If you have any comment or discussion on those?
I wasn't here last month, but I watched the playback and I make a motion to accept as is.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next on the agenda, the election of a Plan Commission Vice Chairperson.
Thank you, John. Per the City Code 30-4, the Planning Commission shall consist of the mayor and presiding officer and one alderperson and 5 citizens. Additionally, per that code, it does require us to elect a vice chair. Historically, we've never run into an issue where the mayor has been on vacation or hasn't missed a meeting, so we've never actually done an election of a vice chair.
Motion to table to have more people here.
Say it again.
Motion to table until we have
Yeah.
a greater
I would
amount of
second
people
that.
here. I don't.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're fine with, yeah. I think the idea was just because this is the first time happening.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
fine. We should all discuss it.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Good to table that? All right, moving on. Site plan review for the renovation of Fire Hall Field at 265 Flora Street.
Alright, so this is background about the project. The cab company proposed their project idea and we met with them on June 8th to kind of walk the site and see what they were thinking. They proposed a redevelopment that includes a press box and fan viewing areas, and it would fully include a new grandstand, plaza, and a dugout area, as well as a concessions and a restroom building. So a little bit about this property. It's located on the corner of South Walnut Street and South Flora Street, and it's addressed 265 Flora Street. It's currently in the R1 mixed residential district, and it's mostly surrounded by residential homes, except for the fire department that is right across the street there. The property is owned by the school district and it is managed by the cab company, and the field is used for school and community baseball games. So the greatest concern was meeting the setback requirements. This table shows the minimum required setbacks with the planned setbacks according to their proposal. Currently, they're going to meet all the required setbacks that apply to the project plan. This rear one doesn't really apply to it because there's no developments going on in the rear yard. This is the original site plan submittal. It was drawn to scale. It doesn't include any setbacks, but since it was drawn to scale, I was able to reference it onto a satellite image, and in the red, it shows the setbacks 43, I believe 18.44, and everything is good there. And then this one is a little cleaned up with some traced features. All the setbacks are currently working with our code. Utilities for the project, they will need sewer, water, and electricity for the concessions and restroom building, and electricity for the press box, I believe. The utilities will be accessed off Walnut Street, and they have been stubbed in from a previous project at the site. It has been discussed that the city may explore installing sewer and water laterals to the buildings once the project gains ample funding. And some of the resolution contingencies, renovations will be limited to the ones specified on the site plan and wouldn't include any future development plans. All applicable permits will be paid, completed, and submitted. All ground surfaces have to be paved, improved, and seeded prior to construction completion. All signage must comply with our municipal code. There must be erosion control to prevent runoff. And all structures have to be compliant with our Chapter 635 zoning code, focusing on the 35 feet maximum height restriction. And we recommend that the site plan for 265 Flora Street be forwarded to City Council with the conditions listed in the resolution. That is all.
What was your name?
Carter.
Carter.
So has anything changed? Like, we've been talking about this for like 5 years, I think, right?
We really started to do it 4 years ago.
Okay, 4 years.
This is the first time we've had the actual site plan.
But it's all the same that we've been talking about for a long time, right?
Yeah, nothing really has changed.
I make a motion to approve resolution XX-22.
I got a couple of curiosity questions. So the CAB is gonna fund this. I see in one of the blurbs in our packet that we get from the city, it says that the city was gonna assist with the installation of sewer, water, and lateral stuff. So funding for the project, that's all through you guys, right, pretty much?
Right, you know, the city talked about helping out if they could, if they had the manpower to do so, if they've got the equipment. But
Sure.
if they haven't made any promises, and if they can't, they can't. But
Yeah.
it'd be great if we could, but it's not a contract or anything like that.
Any idea what the occupancy would go kind of from to in terms of like spectators?
I don't know if it changes anything from where it is right now. We'll just actually have better seating.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's a good question. I don't know if there's a max occupancy on the city block. Probably not.
The occupancy is going to be based on, because there's no press box currently at the stands, right?
No, there's.
So, yeah, the press box would really be the max occupancy, and that would be based on what building code.
The grandstand. The press box is on top of the grandstand. That's just where the press goes.
Oh.
But the grandstand, yeah, I'm sure.
The seating area.
The seating area will have a capacity, I suppose.
What type is it? Is it maybe like a concrete
The grandstand would be.
grandstand?
Yep.
That'll obviously replace the aluminum bleachers that are sitting there now, and are those gonna move, be used?
I don't know.
They're the school property,
Yeah, they're
so,
school property.
right?
Yeah. No intention to put them on the side, or?
If there's on the third base side, there might be a spot over there they could go.
Especially like if we host like sectionals and stuff like that.
Sure.
Oh, I guess Wake said that you take one.
From the school, he said he would take one away, they would use it on another site, and they would leave us one to move down the left field.
What's that, the transition bullpen, what's it gonna look like for the fan area over there?
So yeah, that's a bullpen right now that's surrounded by fencing, kind of to show you. So fence here, fence on the back side, so no people go through. So we're for sure gonna take off the ends. We're not sure if we're gonna take off that back end right now or not. It's concrete underneath there, so we'll leave it concrete. We'll probably build some steps or something so you can see above dugout.
And there's a net that goes above it to protect the fans.
Yeah.
So there'll be some seating there, or just standing room?
Standing room, so maybe a table or two.
Yeah.
Yep. Carter, can you go back to the site plan drawing, please?
Yep.
The one thing that wasn't on there that we talked about, and the person who drew this up for us kind of forgot to add it in, but just this little triangle. Do you remember talking about that at all? Matt, Carter?
Yep.
So I don't know if to be official, if that has to be in there or not, but it would just be, so this is the grandstand right here. Okay, the top here would be the press box. This is just a little bit of a rounded edge right here, or not rounded, triangle off. So there's seating right there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It won't be any closer, but it would not be any, so this is the line you worked on the setback, right?
Yeah.
It would not be any closer to the road from that.
Kind of mirror the other side of it, right?
Kind of, yeah. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, I just wanted to verify that you were okay with that. And I don't know how it works, I guess, when it comes to getting things like this approved, if there's tiny little details that don't affect the setback, does that have to be approved, or is it just mainly the setback that the planning commission's worried about?
I guess my recommendation, the plan commission gets to make the ultimate decision, but anytime you start talking about approving things that aren't in a site plan, you obviously run into issues where people bring up, well, because we don't have anything on a plan to show, yeah, we approved it here, this is what it looks like. But again, if you want to make the recommendation to approve it with an additional corner grandstand, that's definitely within your right as a plan
That'd
commission.
be good if we can get that part in.
I'll change my motion to approve the additional quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as it's not changing that setback.
Yep.
Fine with that.
In the plaza area, that'll be, you know, bricks, right?
Yep.
So,
That's a shaded area,
yeah, so with some tables and stuff like that.
Oh, so that whole metal building's gonna go away?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be, and then the new one will be down further.
Oh, I see, the new concessions and restrooms.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, yeah.
And so that won't be as tall then, I assume?
No, as that building, no. Concession will just be a one-story.
One story?
Yeah.
Okay.
The tallest part would be the press box right on the backside of the grandstands. So, less than 35 feet, I mean, right? That was the.
Actually, it's about 4 foot shorter than the backstop that is presently in place. I think it's 18 feet to the top of the press. So I mean, we're.
18.16 feet? No, that's a setback.
Yeah, this doesn't have the height dimensions of
Okay,
the
yep.
grandstand. Yeah, we don't have the official drawings of that yet.
That's fine.
Is that gonna be an issue, even though we don't have the height?
As long as it's less than 35 feet, we should be cool.
Yep, as long as it doesn't
We'll be well
exceed
under
3.
that. And then for like water runoff, what type of stuff do we have to worry about there?
Just when you're constructing, if you use like erosion fencing to make sure that none of the stuff drains into the water,
Okay.
I mean to the street, and clogs up like the storm drains. And
Do you have to have like X amount of grassy area or something?
No, this is just for construction.
Okay, that's just for construction? Okay.
Yeah.
Got a big field.
All right,
Yeah.
Plenty of grass.
We're fine.
Okay, we're good?
all right, so we've got a motion to approve the site plan for the renovation of our outfield at 265 Flora Street with that addition of the additional bleachers on the right side, I guess.
Second the motion, as written, with the caveat of the additional bleachers.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, guys. All right, next up, the concept plan for 445 Court Street.
If we don't gain any gain,
So just a little bit of background, since it just recently happened at the last council meeting, council did approve a raise order for this building. It was previously an old hospital. In fact, I think it's had a whole bunch of range of uses. This raise order does require the property owner to remove the building within the next 30 days, or they can file a restraining order to stop that order if circuit court agrees with it. The owner has reached out to 2 companies to get quotes for removing the building. However, additionally, they have also put together a couple concept plans for development of this site that would turn the area into townhomes, and they're looking for input from the Plan Commission on the proposed plan.
And we have been hearing about these concept plans and plans to do one thing or other for the last dozen years. Way before you were here, way before a lot of you knew anything about this. We've been hearing this for over a decade. We're gonna fix it up tomorrow.
Sure.
As far as the city's concerned, the tearing down of the building's a hazard, right? That's the reason.
Correct.
And so building comes down, it's a hole in the ground, and as far as the city's concerned, kind of done with it, right? The guy.
Then it's just raw land, you can do whatever you want with
Yeah, I
it.
can
You wanna
do
build
what you want.
townhomes, build townhomes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a motion to approve the resolution 21-22.
I think it's just the general concept plan that we're talking
Oh, we
about.
don't need to even talk about it? We don't need to approve it or anything, or?
Well, we need to approve it just to make sure that you guys are good with it. I mean, generally overall, it's a PUD, so there's no, it's a planned unit development is what is currently zoned. So I guess if, the overall concept, if you're fine with the idea of townhomes, that's what we're asking you guys to review tonight.
Oh, well, every development's a PUD nowadays. When's the last time we have it as a PUD?
I guess, I'm not sure, I'm not
Prior to
historic.
2000?
I don't think there's, I mean, the most approval wasn't a PUD, the site plan commercial we just had for the storage at Bodie Studios,
Okay.
both weren't PUDs.
I mean, trying to remember the last time we had a residential non-PUD in the city.
I think the most second subdivision that was approved, I guess, probably my first day of starting was a non-PUD.
Okay. Most of them are, I just know that.
So,
So basically, we're looking to move this to the general council, and it's just a matter
Yeah.
of, are we okay with townhomes going in at this location?
right. So concept plan up on the screen is basically what they're proposing, changing it from the current building to the, they proposed 2 units, 2 concept plans, one's a 20 unit, one's a 16. The only one in your packet is the 16 unit because they just sent us the 20 unit concept plan tonight. Again, this would all come back before you for the preliminary plat and final plat for actual approval. They don't want to move forward though with tear down until there's an actual somewhat loose plan in place for the future development of the site.
You're saying the owner doesn't want to move
Yeah.
forward with the tear down?
Correct.
Okay. And so would this go, if we move this on, then it would go to council to say, yeah, we're okay with it?
So yeah, the recommendation would bring it then to council. Generally speaking, concept plans don't necessarily have to go to council as they're more of a loose, just we don't have a problem with what you're proposing on the site and then the formal approval happens later. But since we've had such issues with this site and the raise order just occur, we would forward this on to council for concept plan.
Does anybody have any?
So that I'm not confused, what we're approving is a resolution that for the raise order.
Sorry, so the raise order is in your packet just so you have an idea of
Okay, that's
what was
already been-
approved.
Yep.
That's already been
Yep.
approved. The actual resolution for this plan would come later when there's more formal plan in place.
Yeah, and then, I just make a comment, I don't really like the planning commission deciding on what should be built and what shouldn't be built in the city, because we're appointed officials. I really think that elected officials should be deciding this.
Well,
Is there-
per our code, all site plans in,
Well, we can approve a site plan, but then the city council can say, no, we don't like you.
same concept plans similar have to
Yeah.
come before plan
I
commission
mean,
for
there's nothing
review.
wrong with this plan, that just because you might not like it. I don't know if you don't like it, I'm just saying, I mean,
Oh, you're right, though, it's gonna go to council anyway.
correct.
Regardless, so.
Yep.
It's gotta come here first, right?
Right.
Out of curiosity, what are the outlines, I should have looked this up before I came, but for green space, when you got a builder developing an area, what's the threshold in which they need to have a green space or,
Good question.
or like a outdoor area, source, how much leeway do we have on that? They're putting a lot of single-family homes in this little space,
Well, this is considered green space.
stormwater.
Correct, it is.
So to answer your question, I don't know offhand, although since this is a planned unit development, one of the things that you do with PDUDs is you allow some more flexibility. Generally, there's a give-take in your discussion with the proposed developer on what the plan. So you can say if you're going to have this kind of density of units, you need to offer more landscaping or trees or green space as a result. That's one of the things that you have some more flexibility as a result of planned unit developments or PUD zoning.
That's good to know.
And so, but is it your understanding that there is a minimum area where that ordinance would take effect, where there needs to be a certain percentage of the land saved for green space?
I think a good example of that is the most property, they're gonna have green space, that was required of that. wasn't
So
it?
park dedication is required in subdivisions, so that's why they have 12 acres. So they plan for the future of their all divisions, and they've dedicated that as part of the subdivision ordinance that we have. In terms of PUDs and like for commercial lots and industrial lots, we have payments in lieu of park dedication. So we can say, okay, we're not going to put a park in the middle of an industrial space because it's going to be so small and ridiculous, but we're going to make you contribute to park fees. So this would be one of those things where we could have that discussion. If there's felt like we actually had to dedicate some sort of area in this for a park, we could do that as a smaller, but generally we'd say, well, again, that's up to the planning commission just to have that discussion, but we would say most likely this is an area that's going to be big enough for a park, so we're going to require you to pay into a park dedication in lieu of that.
So that brings up another question, I wasn't around when the development behind Joy Lutheran there,
Sure.
was there dedicated park space there, or was that what we're talking about here with the payments, fees?
That is a good question. I'm not sure how, Per our code, there should have been parkland dedication paid at the time of that, since there's no park that was developed or set aside for that purpose. However, I'm not sure if that is for sure what
So was that a
occurred or not.
subdivision or a PUD?
It was a subdivision.
Okay. So I guess my understanding is we can move this forward.
You sure that wasn't a PUD? I don't think they have 100-foot lots.
I guess I wasn't here when the approval was. I know right now it's not zoned PUD, so if you look at our zoning
I think
map.
they got a little, they tweaked it, because I don't think their lots are 100 feet wide.
And it maybe well could have been, because per our code, they did put in a number of townhome units, so they had more of a mix there, but I'm not sure if that was part of just the subdivision approval, or if there was a PUD that they approved as part of.
So we can move this forward without a formal decision on whether or not there needs to be.
Right, so that would all,
We're gonna require green space, and, as this moves through, we can.
so the details of this will then come back to you for,
Okay.
once they have like setbacks and how many units we'd have those discussions as we move forward.
This is in general, and we're okay with townhomes, basically. Is that-
Yep.
I think a lot of people in this town want townhomes, because they want, they want an old folks home. Because a lot of people are aging, and so, yeah, like these townhomes, I mean, they sold out, like,
Yeah.
by the ones, you were talking about, by Joy. And I have a friend that lives over there, and they all seem like nice people.
Well, and the ones up on Dexter, that whole area up there is all townhomes as well.
And they're all taking care of them, it's not,
I'm fine with
they're not
townhomes,
like, they're
yeah.
not like crappy townhomes, I mean, they're not cheap either. They cost as much as a house.
Right, I don't think, in general, new townhomes are a bad thing.
No.
Do you know the rough size of this concept plan in regards to the residential homes? Is there a rough size to these properties? Are these, they look,
The units?
yeah, so I speculate that's a two-stall garage. It's probably 20 by 20, it's probably as small as you can get it.
Yep.
I'd speculate, and so that's probably like a 1,600 square foot duplex each side. Did they talk about numbers at all? Is that?
No, we haven't got into
Okay.
any sort of
I was just
dimensions or
curious
numbers
if
yet.
this came with any type of, okay. We gotta make a motion for this one?
Already been made.
I'd second to move forward.
So we have a motion to move this forward to council that the plan is to build townhomes at 445 Court Street.
Do you want to speculate how many? Because right now there's 16, right?
And then
Well, you had that other,
16 versus 20.
And I guess I haven't looked at the 20.
They look smaller, I guess, but
Yeah, I think just per density, the more square footage you're getting in the 16, just leaning in terms of what the density is around it, I think the 16-unit concept plan looks like it fits more with the surrounding area, especially as you transition from Peacock Ridge into the houses next
I
door.
think at this time I'd be willing to support the 16 until we have more information on the 20.
just from looking at it, actually, the ones on Peacock Ridge look, I don't know if that's the scale, but it looks like these look like they're a lot bigger.
They are, they're scaled.
Yeah, those are way scaled down.
You-
Those look like a 5-unit building almost, doesn't it? On the 20 concept
Yeah,
plan?
they're all
looks like
attached.
maximum profitability.
As opposed to
That's what that
like
looks like.
twin homes.
Right,
I like the idea of
What
twin
I'm
homes
saying is the
better.
ones on Peacock right here,
yep.
they look a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aren't these two-story?
Oh, those are 2-story, that's right, you're right.
I don't know if these are two-story, but I'm
I'm
guessing they're
not
single-story.
against the 20-unit concept plan, but I'll approve the 16 now. Because
Do
that's
we know
what
if
we've
these are
seen.
2-story or one, or?
I don't.
This is all we got?
Yeah, again, the concept plan is just really, he's just trying to say, I'm gonna give you a rough sketch of what
Yeah.
I like to do, and
That
then we'll,
hillside drops off pretty good. I bet you that's, something like a walkout. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
probably. Unless somebody, what do you guys think? I'm not opposed to either.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to either.
I think we need more detail to even really discuss that, to be honest.
Yeah.
We don't have the detail here.
No.
We're gonna push it to council.
Yeah. So far, so good, though.
Townhomes.
You made a motion, I seconded it.
Okay,
All right.
Yeah.
leave it as is.
Yep. Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, I'll move that forward. Other business. Is there any other business, Matt?
Other than our next meeting is Monday, August 1st, and we will have that discussion on the bypass that we have been getting some numbers put together. So that will be part of the agenda for sure.
Okay, we don't want to discuss anything about that tonight?
No, I think in talking with Alan and most, they both were worried that with some planning commissioners gone, they wanted them here, much to like our vice chair conversation, they wanted.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Are we gonna
We can easily.
the agenda next week?